Hey guys, a happy Wednesday. It's Joe and it's time for Puck It with Joe. I hope everyone's having a wonderful start to their Wednesday. We have 7 games on the ice, and these games have to go better than yesterday. What a shit show on the ice we had. I could not believe some of these games. My bets just colder than the freaking ice for the last 2 days. We're going to get back on track. I want to give a big shout out to everyone already here joining me on all the different platforms that we are streaming live on. Appreciate you guys for coming back after such a cold couple of days. So we're going to get things back on track. We're not going to dwell on the past. 7 games on the ice today. Big shout out to Matt, Mill, Ben, Rick, and Thomas already for joining me here on YouTube, and everyone else out there watching. I did tell my dad to watch today. Let's see if he comes in. It'll be quite interesting. Jay, welcome to the show. Hopefully my dad joins us today. Okay, if he doesn't, he's going to be Facebook messaging me nonstop during the show. Let's look at the first matchup between the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, this one kicks off at 7 o'clock. I'm just going to make sure we haven't seen an adjustment in any of these odds here. Now, Washington Capitals coming in at minus 138. Let me just do one more refresh. Plus 116 for the Philadelphia Flyers. And the total has gone from 6 to 6.5. In this one, it's hard not to get behind Washington here. Charlie Lindgren is confirmed in goal for them. He's got a 3.33 goals against average. Carter Hart expected still for the Philadelphia Flyers. He's rolling in with a 2.83. Now, looking at these teams, defensively, both have been really shooting themselves in the foot, allowing these shots on goals and allowing these goals to come in. These teams did just play. Back on November 23rd, we saw the Washington Capitals get a 3-2 win. Now, while I do think we have a very similar outcome with the Washington Capitals getting a nice win here on the road, I think we can look to this over 6.5 in this one just because I don't trust the defenses. And we know offensively, neither of these teams have been scoring, but I look at the defenses, and I think both defenses really let themselves down. Now, the Washington Capitals, we are paying juice for them here on the road. You can't trust them on the puck line, you guys, and you can't take the Philadelphia Flyers on the puck line because there's no value. The Washington Capitals have failed to cover that puck line in their last 4 as a favorite. So this one for me is an over 6.5 game all day, 4-1 in the last 5 meetings to that over. And then the Washington Capitals here, you could bet them in regulation. You are going to get better odds. Remember, if you're looking to shop those odds, head on over to Betstamp, use referral code Madden to shop those lines. I just don't see this. This isn't going to be an exciting game on the ice, guys. Again, 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay, Jay, I'm going to look at those when it comes up. Carter Hart, you're liking his save shots on goal of 27.5. You liking it over or under? I'm seeing over. Okay, so Carter Hart over 27.5 save shots on goal. When we look at the Washington Capitals, they are averaging that 30.5 shots on goal per game. And we see the Philadelphia Flyers giving up that 31.8. We know the problem with the Philadelphia Flyers is their defense, not even their goaltending. I think Carter Hart does stand on his head. So I don't mind that one at all, Jay. I think that is a nice way to go, hitting him over 27.5. Well, I do see the goals coming in here. We can count on the Washington Capitals to get these shots on goal in this one today and for Carter Hart to have a solid day. The next, you took Lindgren too. What was Lindgren coming in at? Let me know what he was coming in at for that one. The next one we'll move on to the Buffalo Sabres and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, this is a 7 total game kicking off at 7:30. We have, I'm going to just double check. Yeah, minus 170. We have seen some movement for the Buffalo Sabres. Earlier today, they were minus 164. So it's gone up that 6 points. The Columbus Blue Jackets coming in here at plus 140 now. Earlier, they were plus 136. So depending on what you like in this game, I hope you got it earlier or are getting it later. I do think that this is another higher scoring game. At this total of 7, it's really hard to hit because I think we might push on that 7. I see a 4-3 style game. Now, with that, I think you can break these teams down to which team you like better. to come out there, hit their team total, because there is some value on that team total if you believe that one team is going to get it. Now, for Columbus, their team total is a 2.5. You're getting that at minus 144. If you buy it up to 3, the over 3 is minus 100. If you think that the Columbus Blue Jackets can put 3 points or 3 goals on the Buffalo Sabres, then I think that minus 100 is worth it. This is just going to be a really hard game for both of these teams. We've seen the Buffalo Sabres really lighting up the net. They're averaging that 3.8 goals per game, which is second overall in the league. This team is 11-13 on the season. Defense is just absolutely killing them. Goaltending is killing them. So when we look at the Columbus Blue Jackets over that 3, it's quite possible at minus 100 because Lankinen is expected in goal. Now, he has a 4.17 goals against average. So that is just, it looks like easy money there to get them over this 3. This could be a high-scoring game right out of the gate. I would look at the first period over as well. We saw the Buffalo Sabres rolling in here off a win. Yes, it was to the Sharks. It was a 6-3 win. But the Buffalo Sabres are really connecting offensively, and they're getting these goals where Columbus is struggling. They have basically a non-existent power play, not even able to score with a one-man advantage. They're only averaging that 2.79 goals per game. So it's going to have a lot of faith for them to come in here. But one player you could look at to have faith in is Kent Johnson of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, we're getting great value for him to score an anytime goal. We're getting that at plus 320. He has scored a goal in 3 of the last 4 games as a home underdog. He really digs deep and is able to get things down. Now, when we look at the Buffalo Sabres rolling into Columbus, they've fallen flat on their faces in 6 of the 7 meetings, in the last 7 meetings in Columbus, only winning 1 of those. So I do think this might be one Columbus can pull off the win. If you like Columbus to pull off the win here, you're getting them at plus 140. Like I said, depending on which side you like, this line movement could work in your favor. So I'm willing to take a small chance on Columbus here. It's not a big one. It didn't make my premiums, but to make this game fun, I'm going to put a little bit here on the Columbus Blue Jackets to be able to pull off a home win. The Sabres are also 2-5 in the last 7 meetings, but if I had to, push comes to shove, I would take the Columbus Blue Jackets team total over that 3 at minus 100. I think would be the best bet. You could get the push at 3 though. Okay, the next game on the ice. Guys, we are flying through. It's good to see everyone here. Let's make some freaking money today. I love when you guys fly in with this comment. Let's make some money, because that's what this is all about. Let's make some money. I see everyone coming in on TikTok as well. Remember, come join me on YouTube or Facebook to make sure you can interact with this chat. We will get to Pastrnak and the Boston Bruins in just one sec. I definitely do like him. And yes, Boston out for a strong game after losing to Vegas. Again, we'll get to that in 1 minute. First, we got to talk the Minnesota Wild and the Calgary Flames. Calgary is my team, you guys. You know it. Now, here is my problem with the Calgary Flames. They've been inconsistent. Inconsistent goal scoring. It's been a struggle back and forth. They either score a whole bunch of goals or they don't. One thing we can count on, though, is this team defensively. This team has really been stepping up defensively. I know you look at this and you look at the Minnesota Wild and you look at the Calgary Flames. Both teams able to get these goals. Both teams able to blow away these totals without even thinking. But I can't get there with this. I think we have a really strong defensive game between the Minnesota Wild and the Calgary Flames. Now, Marc-Andre Fleury is expected for the Minnesota Wild, if I can talk. His goals against average is a 3.04 at the moment. He has been playing stronger as of late. I really like what I've been seeing out of him. We've been seeing the support coming from the defensive players of the Wild getting him support in their zone. They're only allowing that 29.8 goals per game. Now, shots on goal per game. Can you imagine if one team was allowing 29.8 goals per game? That would be horrendous. I don't even know what those scores would end up being. But when we look at the Calgary Flames, their defense is 4th overall for limiting those shots on goal at 28. And both teams still allowing that 3. So while I'm nervous about this, I think the only way you can take this number is to take it the under 6. We have a lot of 6s on the board. I would have felt so much more confident in this number if it was a 6.5, but I think take the under 6. I think this is a 3-2 game. Now, the last time these teams played was back last April, and the Wild got a 3-2 win. I do think Calgary gets this win on home ice. This is their last game before hitting the road. They've got a 3-game road trip coming up. They got that nice win over the Arizona Coyotes, which, yes, it was just the Coyotes, 3-2 win. And that's what I mean about offensively. They only scored 3 goals on the Coyotes. That game should have been a 4-5 game for the Calgary Flames. They should have been able to take on the Coyotes' defense and goaltending. We just didn't see it come through. So with those inconsistencies, I have to go the under. I think the defense of the Wild are strong. I think Calgary will come out with a strong defense. And when we look at the Wild in Calgary, they're 1-4 in those last 5 meetings overall and 2-5 in the last 7 meetings in Calgary. It's scary. We're stepping in front of a Wild team that is running hot right now. They have won their last 4 games. That last game, we were riding with them against the Dallas Stars. They got a 6-5 win there. It was a shootout win. You guys, that was when I was on the Wild. When it went to shootout, I was so nervous because Jake Ottinger in goal is lights out. I didn't think the Wild were going to win when we went to shootout. I was pacing on the opposite side of my couch. It was a fantastic win there. They've got the Oilers on deck on Friday. So pay attention to what happens in this one tonight because it's really hard to play Calgary and then Edmonton. But I do think the Flames get it done 5-1 in their last 6 at home. I love, Jazz, that you're coming in here with the Flames as well. You got Kadri for that anytime goal. I like it. I think that is a great way to go with this one. This is going to be a game that, depending on if you think it goes over and under, depends on how many players that you take for those goals. Now, if you're looking for someone to take from Calgary, well, I do like Kadri. You can't look over the fact that Lindholm has scored a goal in 6 of the Flames' last 7 games at home. So he is someone to definitely look at here. Yeah, I would look at his over 2.5 shots on goal as well. That's just where I was going, Jazz. When I'm betting an under total, I hate taking those players to get those goals. I like taking the shots on goals and for the goaltenders to do their job the best that they can. And a point, Jazz. Definitely a great way to go with that. You guys, follow that, tail that. Great plays by Jazz there. Okay, let's look at the next game on the board. And by the way, these two teams do not trend nicely to that over either, going 15-6-5 in the last 26 meetings to the under in Calgary. Calgary also 5-2 in their last 7 to that under. The Wild, though, taking these games over. Their last 6 games have flown over those totals. We saw it against the Stars. Who would have thought the Wild and the Stars would be a 6-5 game? That was just unbelievable there. But we got the win with the Wild, and that's all that counts. Okay, the Boston Bruins and the Colorado Avalanche. You guys, this game is a repeat of what we just saw. Now, the Bruins just won this game on Saturday. It was a 5-1 win. The Bruins then lost to Vegas. I did not think the Bruins would lose to Vegas on home ice. It was a shootout loss, so people are saying, okay, it was a shootout, not a real loss, but it was a loss by the Boston Bruins. They are going to come into this game pissed off. Now, Colorado, left, right, center, everyone. There is no one healthy on this team. Nathan McKinnon now out of the lineup for tonight. You name it, that player isn't in. It feels like this team is so banged up. Do we want to still take the Avs at plus 150? I tell you. You guys, I am such a sucker for plus money. It's moved. It was plus 150 earlier. It's now plus 146. I don't know. Something about me tells me this is going to be a more competitive game than we think because everyone and their grandmother is saying, take the Boston Bruins in regulation. They're going to get a nice big win. Take the Boston Bruins team total over. Just cash it with the Boston Bruins, which is how it should work. But does Vegas lose? Vegas never frickin' loses. It seems like everyone, all the money is sitting here on Boston, I can see a case for the Colorado Avalanche to come out here strong. Now, they're off a road trip. When they're off a road trip, they're returning home off a road trip for 7 days or more. They've gone 7-0 in their last 7 games in the situation. The Boston Bruins have failed, fallen flat on their faces in Colorado, going 0-4 in the last 4 meetings. They're 6-1 in the last 7 games versus teams with winning records. The home team between these two is 7-1 in the last 8 meetings. This really comes down to your faith in the Boston Bruins against a beat-up Colorado Avalanche team. Boston, definitely one of the best, hottest teams in the league. But can Colorado do something with the next man up situation? I am leaning to they might be able to. I'm going to prop bet this a little bit. I'm going to take the over 6 because I think if Colorado is to be relevant in this game, they have to score the goals, even with players missing like Nathan McKinnon and Langosov. So we look at this. Allmark is expected in goal. We know how phenomenal he is. He's got a 1.93. We see Alexander Georgiev coming out here for the Colorado Avalanche. He's got a 2.66. We got fantastic goaltending, but I could see this one going over. It is a hard one to swallow with this game because it could be a 1-0 game, or this is a 3-4 game and we get over that total. I just don't trust the Bruins here in Colorado off the win that was easy off of them. And looking at their schedule, the schedule is looking hard coming out. Both these teams, strong power play. I know there's guys out, but I don't know, you guys. Bet this one how you want. I don't have a good feeling about this. I would look at some player props. Cale Makar at plus 240 for an anytime goal, I think is a fantastic way to go for the Colorado Avalanche. We look at Cale Makar. What did we all hear in playoffs? Cale Makar goal, Cale Makar points, Cale Makar shots on goal. He is a phenomenal defensive player, can light up the back of the net. Look at his player props tonight for sure. And it hit some of those because if Colorado's going to have a big day, we need players like Cale Makar to step up with these other players out. Now, Rantanen as well, you can look at him to come in here and play strong. You can get him for an anytime goal at plus 138. If you believe in the Avs and you believe this one's going over, you got to look at some of these guys to get goals in this one. He's got a goal in 4 of their last 5 home games. So Rantanen is a great one to hit here. This is going to be a battle on the ice. I can't wait to see how it plays out. It definitely should be good. Yeah, I would be looking at that as well. I think it is a phenomenal way to go. Allmark. Oh, this is interesting. Save set at 26.5. See, this is what I mean by looking at all of these lines. So before I went live here, I couldn't see confirmation. My book was not giving me numbers on this. If they only think Allmark can save 26.5 shots on goal, is it because they do not believe the Colorado Avalanche will come out with firepower with so many people out? They're averaging 32.8 shots on goal per game. Or do they think the Boston Bruins defense is going to be so good against these guys that are stepping up? We know basically the top line is gone, but I think Colorado is deep enough, you guys. They are averaging that 32.8. We see the Bruins allowing 29.4. I don't know, you guys. That is a tricky one for Allmark. Over 26.5. I would say he gets that over 26.5 just because Colorado comes out firing. I think that number seems way too low. I think they're really discrediting the value of all the other players on the Colorado Avalanche. Guys, this is the Avs. This line isn't sitting right. The more I see, the more we talk, I'm just going to throw more money on Colorado here on the money line. I would rather be wrong and lose the money than be right and miss out on that money. So I think this is an interesting one. Prop bet it though. Cale Makar, Rantanen. I think this over has to come into play if you're banking on Colorado because we know the Bruins are flying. They're the best scoring team in the league at 3.96 goals per game. So should be a good one. Yeah, I would look at Pasternak for that anytime goal as well. Okay, Let's move on to the next game, you guys. We've only got 7 on the board today. Hopefully we can do better. If you want to fade me, 100%. Fade every pick I have, because if you faded every pick I had yesterday, you would have done absolutely phenomenal. So, you guys, we're just in that situation. We all go through cold slumps. I am like cold as freaking ice right now. We did get some wins, but some big time losses there. So let's look at the next one. The Arizona Coyotes are taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Can we just all say that the Oilers are dead to us? Like, seriously, the Oilers are dead to us. I sat here and I said, if they cannot pull off the win on the puck line versus the Washington Capitals, who completely struggle in Edmonton, then the Oilers are dead to me. They're dead to me. We're going to go with the new name. I was told, I have a friend that calls them the Lubricators. I think they're better off being called the Lubricators than the Oilers. They just are completely dead to me right now. Strong trends to why to bet the Oilers on that puck line tonight. I'm not doing it. You guys can go ahead and do it. I'll give you the information anyway. They have covered the puck line in the last 4 versus the Arizona Coyotes. This is the Coyotes. This team is scrappy, but they're not good. Ingram confirmed for them. He has a 3.75 goals against average. Skinner expected for the Edmonton Oilers. He's got a 2.93. And I just want to see if that has changed at all. If you guys have confirmations on that one, that's just what I'm looking up right now, because Jack Campbell really does change things over Skinner, and I am seeing Skinner confirmed. So that is a good thing for the Edmonton Oilers. But like I said, the Edmonton Oilers, the Edmonton spoilers, like Rick is saying, and like my friend says, the Lubricators are completely dead to me. I'm not putting my money on this team. There is no way. So I'm not touching it for a side in this one. The offense is so much better than the defense of the Arizona Coyotes. I can't see it going any other way but Edmonton coming out and getting a nice big win. But like I said, you guys, I'm not giving them my money anymore. The Coyotes are coming in here. This is their last game of a what? I want to say 14-game road trip. They are ready to go home. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games. Their last loss was to Calgary 3-2. There is no trends that support Arizona. Trust me, if there was anything that supported Arizona here, I would be betting it. There's a first period trend that supports Arizona. We see Edmonton has lost their last 4 first periods following as a favorite following a loss. So they are coming in off that loss to the Capitals. They end up being sluggish in the first period after that loss, and the other team gets up. But can we count on the Arizona Coyotes? Might be worth a sprinkle. I've seen up to plus 309 for the Arizona Coyotes in that first period. There's a couple other first periods I like way better than this. I think both of these teams just are a stay off for me in this game. If you think Edmonton will score, which we know they will, maybe this is a prop bet position for you guys. Leon Draisaitl has scored a goal, at least one goal in 5 of his last 6 games for the Oilers. So you could look at Leon Draisaitl here for that anytime goal. I'm staying off. So I'm staying off, and I'm staying off hard. You can take the over 6.5 if you want to bet something. I think that one cashes. But again, Arizona's offensively has sucked. 2.65 goals per game. I could see a case where the Oilers get up 4-0 and then just, skate around them and don't do anything, don't find the back of the net. So stay away. I'm avoiding. Everyone who has faith in the Oilers tonight, hats off to you. Let me know how you're going to bet this game, because I can't touch it. I just can't trust them. Next game on the board, the New York Rangers are taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. This is at 10 o'clock Eastern. Mike, yes, always fade the Coyotes, except in certain situations. We have made some money. You're expecting Edmonton to win by 3 or more. They're due. They are due for an offensive explosion. You ride them. I'm going to stay off them. If you ride them and I stay off them, it probably hits. I just can't get there. They're not getting any more of my money, the books, with this Edmonton Oilers team. Told you, said last time, if they do this, they're dead to me. Completely dead to me. Anthony's taking the puck line too. You guys are so freaking brave after the Capitals game. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Edmonton Coilers, I saw that. Damn Edmonton. The New York Rangers and the Vegas Golden Knights, 10 o'clock Eastern. Vegas coming in here. Let me just recheck these odds. Minus 137 was minus 146 earlier. We're getting between plus 114 and plus 120 for the New York Rangers here, and a total of 6. Okay. The Rangers finally won one. Yay, they won over the Blues 6-4. The Blues have been absolutely terrible. People keep telling me the Rangers are winning it tonight. I don't see it happening. I know Igor is expected for them. Let me just check if we've got any confirmations on goalies. Igor is a phenomenal goalie, and I do believe in this New York team, but they're not just, Igor and Thompson are confirmed. A lot of people wanting to fade. Vegas, off the road trip. Vegas, I've told you guys, is not a team to fade off a road trip. I don't care if they've been on the East Coast. I don't care if they've been on the West Coast. Vegas, coming off a road trip. We do not fade, just out of principle. The Golden Knights are 11-1 in their last 12 games versus the Eastern Conference. They're also 5-1 in their last 6 home games following a road trip of 7 days or more. I think they eat away at the New York Rangers here. The Rangers 2-5 in their last 7 overall. This team, there's something not clicking with this team. 1-7 or 1-6 in their last 7 meetings with Vegas as well. So give me Vegas here on the money line at minus 136. It's a little juicy, but I do think it comes in. You guys know I love searching for plus money. So I found a way to find some plus money in this. If you believe, like I do, that Vegas gets up in that first period, you can take Vegas in the first period on that puck line, plus 156. Now, they have gone 13-2 and 12 in the first period this season. I'm willing to take a risk here. It's a small bet here, but I do think they get up on the Rangers in that first period. So that means they've had 13 wins, 2 losses in that first period, and 12 pushes. So on that puck line, it's a little risky. You could take them here on the money line. If you want, you have a better chance, but it's going to be a little bit juicier than getting them on the puck line here. I think this is probably a 1-0 end of the first period. So that means I am leaning to that under, but I could very well see this one go over if Igor has a terrible night. So I'm going to stay off this total, you guys. I think it's one of those ones that is really hard to call which way it will go. It all depends on how Igor stands up in goal, because we have seen some struggles. And I do have faith in both Igor and Thompson here. But these 2 teams offensively have been strong, but I like the defense, and I like the defensive play we've got out of both of them. So I'm going to lean defense and goaltending out of both of these guys should hit that under. Again, it's sitting at that solid number of 6. I wish this was a 6.5 today. I haven't wanted so many 6.5s. So we'll get there, you guys. But I think definitely the Vegas Golden Knights in the first period. Aaron, if you look over at FanDuel for these first periods, you can also, if you're up in Canada, in Ontario, check out VIP Bets. There's a lot of sites that can get these first periods. I love, and I always look at those odds over at FanDuel as well. Yeah, a female scorned off the Edmonton Oilers. I told you guys they'd be dead to me. They won't be dead to me for long, but they're definitely dead to me right now off that loss to the Capitals. So the last time these teams played as well, Vegas just outplayed the Rangers 5-1. That was last season, but we've got one more game on the board, you guys. We've got the Vancouver Canucks taking on the San Jose Sharks. Spencer Martin expected for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, he is a 3.37 goals against average. This Canucks team, defense is their issue, but the Sharks have major defensive issues as well. And the Sharks aren't getting this scoring production. So I think this one you have to lean on the Vancouver Canucks. Let me just make sure they're coming in at minus 118 now, minus 102. So that worries me a little bit. It was minus 120 and plus 100 earlier today. But I look at the Sharks team. There is teams that you don't like to fade coming home off a road trip. The Avs are a solid team and Vegas is a solid team. There's no real solid trends for the Sharks off a road trip. They're one of those teams that come off a road trip They normally have struggles getting home. I do think they struggle here. They've come off a road trip, which they have not played well. This team offensively is not getting the goals. The last time these two teams did play, it was only November 27th, so not long ago. We did see the Sharks get some goals in that one. That was a 4-3 win for the Vancouver Canucks. So for me, just looking at this one, I think I'd have to take the Vancouver Canucks here on that money line at -116. But if you want some sort of value on the Sharks, you could take them in that first period. When the Canucks come off of overtime, they have lost their last 4 in that first period. They're off that overtime win over the Montreal Canadiens. This could be one where they let down that first period, and the Sharks in the first period have gone 10-9-9, so not great odds, but they're the dog coming into this. You can hit them on that money line in the first period and just hope if they don't win it, that they at least push it here with the Vancouver Canucks. The only way I can go with the total in this one is the over 6.5. I don't absolutely love it, but I do think we probably have a higher scoring one in this because I think the Sharks can get a couple goals here, and we know the ability of the Canucks to get these goals rolling in. The only problem with the Canucks is they're not really like blowing teams out of the water. So it's kind of one of those games where you're like, well, they're not blowing teams out of the water. They're facing a Sharks team that we know loves to play upset. But the Canucks have dominated the last 6 meetings over the Sharks, going 6-0 in those last 6 meetings. So this should be a Canucks game all day long. Should be, but we know what can happen there, you guys. The total records. Okay, so I can drop that link, actually. Let me just drop it here. I'll drop it right here for you in the chat. That is where I find my odds for those first periods. It is a great site. You do have to pay if you want some extended stats, but you can find a lot of good stats on here without having to upgrade and pay, Aaron. So check that out. The link is below for everyone. That is, I will drop that link. I will just put it up in a banner really quick for you guys. If you just go check it out there, it's got some great trends. And it's not just in hockey. We've got great trends all over the place that you can find. Okay. You're welcome, Jazz. Okay, let's do a recap and parlay. You guys ready for another parlay? I tell you, I need to get hot again. The ice scares me tonight, but I think we've got some winners here. Between the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers, give me the over 6. I really do think this is one where we see the goals coming in. I just can't trust either defense. And if I had to take a side, I would be leaning on Washington in this one. The Buffalo Sabres and the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think you can look at Columbus's team total over 2.5. I would buy it up to that 3 and get -100 on that. And I'd take the over in this one, the over 7. If you believe in the Sabres to score 4 goals, you can hit them over 3.5 at -118. This, again, is not one game that I absolutely love, but the over in both of these last 2 games is what I'm going to throw into the parlay. Actually, maybe not. So let's go for parlay reasons. I'm going to take the Caps game over 6.5. And then I'm going to take the Columbus Blue Jackets team total. And I won't buy it up. I'll just take it over that 2.5 because we are throwing it into the parlay. So the Minnesota Wild and the Calgary Flames, I'm going to take that one under 6. For the parlay, I like the under 6 for the full game as well. I think Calgary wins this in regulation, so you can bet that one as well. Again, look at the shots on goal over the goals in this one because I am leaning to that under. I think this is a 3-2 style game either way, so to take goal scorers, I don't see the point. But if you look at Lindholm here for an anytime goal, definitely value with how well he does for those anytime goals at home. Between the Boston Bruins and the Colorado Avalanche, you guys know I have to I'm a degenerate. Sprinkle on Colorado with that plus money. When do we ever get them plus 150? I know there's so many injuries and so many people are going to be like, when they lose, that why did you do it? Because I'm an idiot and can't turn down the value with Colorado here. But I do think the better way to take this game is to prop bet this one. Look at Cale Makar for that anytime goal. His shots on goal at plus 240. Look at Rantanen at plus 138. I think prop betting this game is a way stronger way to go. So I'm going to take Cale Makar's shots on goal. We do need him to step up on this one. I believe it's 2.5. Let me just see what value we are getting here, because with so many players out, we will need the defensive unit of the Colorado Avalanche to really step up. Okay, let me see what Cale Makar's at. Cale Makar, shots on goal. Over 3.5. Oh, you guys, I like this. It's plus 142. You know I love that plus money. Cale Makar, over 3.5 shots on goal, plus 142. That is my favorite bet of the day. That is what I'm hitting the hardest. It is going, actually, yeah, it's going out to my clients. I'm going to hit it in now. And let's go with that one. You guys, let me know what other prop bets you are liking today as well. I see them coming in the comments, and drop below the show what you guys are betting tonight. Which ones of my bets you're fading, because we know how bad it went yesterday. I wouldn't blame you guys for fading the whole bunch and like doing phenomenal like you would have done yesterday. But yesterday is yesterday. Let's get back on track. The Arizona Coyotes, the Edmonton Oilers. You guys, Edmonton is dead to me. The lubricators, the spoilers, whatever you want to call them, they're dead. Strong trends to why to take them tonight on the puck line. I cannot blame any of you for taking them on the puck line. If they weren't dead to me, that's exactly where I'd be going with this game. I'd look at Leon Draisaitl, and that's my favorite bet of this one. Leon Draisaitl, his shots on goal tonight, because they're going to come raining in. I will look up his value after too. I think that is a great way to take this game if you don't want to take a side. It is an absolute steal for Cale Makar. You know what I hate this year? I cannot get block shots on goal for Cale Makar to save my life. Last year, moneymaker, getting his block shots on goal. This year, can't get them anywhere. If you guys know a book that you can get block shots on goal for Cale Makar, hit it hard, and please tell me which book that is that you're getting it on. Next game on the board for the recap, the New York Islanders, Vegas. I'm going to take Vegas here on the money line. That's what I'm throwing into my parlay. I think they get a nice win here. I'd take them in regulation to bring down that juice as well. I love Vegas here in the first period for a bet as well. Like I said, those trends in that first period, take them either money line if you want to make some more money. If you take them on the puck line, riskier for sure. But I could see them pulling off this 1-0 win in that first period. I like the under 6 in this game. I think it is a lower scoring one, but it could so easily go over. That's yeah. We know how strong these teams are offensively, but I have to rely on defense and goaltending to step up. And then between the Vancouver Canucks and the San Jose Sharks, I think Vancouver pulls up this win. The Sharks, we know, are scrappy, but returning home, I've got to put Vancouver on the money line here, you guys. I really do think this is a tighter game, though. I don't think the Sharks get it, or the Sharks let it go easily, but I think the Vancouver Canucks get the win. My dad is DMing me. I knew he would send those DMs. Big shout out to my dad. He is watching. Thanks, Dad, for joining here. It's makes me smile to know my dad's watching, but also makes me nervous, you guys. My cheeks are hurting now. So let's do a recap here. You guys give a shout out to my dad. His name's Mark. Mark Madden, that is my dad. We're going to take the Caps over 6.5. The Columbus Blue Jackets team total over 2.5. Calgary and the Wild to that under. Cale Makar shots on goal over 2.5 or over 3.5 at plus 142 for the Colorado Avalanche. Favorite bet of the day. I can't wait to get this one in. Draisaitl, his shots on goal. Hang on, what is Draisaitl's shots on goal? Who has that in front of you? Whoever beats me. I'll give you my premium picks. Draisaitl, shots on goal. Shots on goal, 3.5 minus 104. So I'm going to throw Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers, Vegas on the money line, and Vancouver on the money line. You guys, all the best in all of your bets. It was fantastic being here with you on Puck It with Joe. Again, big shout out to my dad. Love you so much, Dad. Favorite bets of today, Cale Makar, shots on goal, over 3.5. Also, let's see, what else? Vegas. I love Vegas tonight. And then Calgary in regulation. I think that's the way you go. I think those are the top 3 bets. You guys, sprinkle in Colorado. I think they pull it off. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Again, thank you so much for being here with me on Puck It with Joe. We will be back tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern, weekdays, every day, 3:30 Eastern. On the weekends, all depends when these games kick off. I try my best to get the show up around 1:30 Eastern. If the games kick off before that, you might miss the first one, but that's what I'm shooting for. You guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. We hit over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube this past week. Makes my heart feel so happy. You guys are absolutely the best. Have a great day. I will talk to you all soon. Bye now.